Hey flower lovers, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Crafter Sabaa and today I've got something really exciting for you all. Yes, I am taking you to the behind the scene of one of my most favorite process, which is creating this beautiful handmade flowers. Today you are going to see everything from the preparation of fabric, coloring it, shaping and even assembling the entire flower. Trust me, you are gonna fall in love with the entire process. So let's get started. So let's start the process with the fabric preparation. So fabric is the main hero here. I prepare my fabric using the water and glue mixture. I mix it really well so that there is no lumps left. After that I cut out my cotton fabric. Then I soak it into this mixture which we have made. After that I will squeeze the entire liquid from it and will keep it to dry for a good amount of time. Once this fabric is completely dried, you will find the fabric has turned extremely crisp and it is perfect to work with the cutting process. I usually prefer to fold all my fabrics and keep it because I do not prefer to have wrinkles on my fabric after making it hard. So this is how I store all my fabrics after the preparation. Now it's a time to cutting the fabric. I am using my die cutting machine here and I'll be using some selected floral dies. So recently I got one order for the customization and for the requirement of the client I am using these floral cutting dies to cut the flowers. So this is called dies. I am setting my dies on the prepared fabric and then I am running it through the machine, and in this way I am going to get a very crisp cutting of the floral petals. If you talk about the fabric in fabric flowers, you can use any fabric. You can even go with silk fabric and even velvet as well, but I prefer to go with cotton because it is very soft, it gives very elegant look and very comfortable to work with. One thing I would like to inform you, if you are a new crafter and you do not have die cutting machine, then do not worry, because you can use your sharp scissor to cut the floral petals. You can get the templates on Pinterest or even on Google. So feel free to go ahead and use your creativity. Just make sure you keep your fabric and the paper scissors separately. Once all the cutting is done, I will separate it as per these different sizes and then we'll start with the coloring process. Now let's talk about the coloring process. This is one of my most favorite part because it really gives the life to your entire floral petals. You can use fabric paints, dyes and even some ink sprays. I have made some swatches here which I am checking to decide my flower colors. I got the requirement of pink, yellow and beige and black, very unusual colors, and I was so excited with this order because this was something really new. Usually I go with pink and yellow, but the beige color and the black was really exciting and challenging for me. Now to coloring, the first and very important thing is you need to dilute the color with a good amount of water and make sure that whatever color you are applying on your flower, it should be extremely in lighter tone. Here if I talk about the ratio of water and color, the water is 5 and the color is 1. So I took it into 5:1 ratio. Now I'll take my flower petals, will spread it on a flat surface to make it prepare for coloring process. Before starting the coloring process of your fabric flowers, you have to make sure that you are applying good amount of water to the entire surface of the petals and then you spread the color or apply the color onto it. Here I am using a spray bottle to sprinkle water on it, but you can also go and use a flat brush to apply water on it. Now here I am using a very light shade of color because once it will dry, once we are going to assemble all the petals, the actual color will come out. So don't worry if you see the color is extremely light, it is not at all a problem. In fact, it is one of the good thing to do. I always prefer to working in a small section at a time just to have a better control in the entire process. For getting the beige shade, I have used the brown color tone and I have added around 7 to 8 ratio of water and 1 ratio of the color. And here's the process of making the black flowers. So I was not comfortable only coloring the center. I decided to color the entire floral petal with the black, and then I'm going to do some stamping at the center of it. And this is how my all the petals are colored. I will keep it to dry completely and then we'll start with the further process. So as you can see, after drying, it is so crisp and looking so beautiful. I prefer to segregate all my flower petals color wise so that it is easy later on to curl and to do the assembling. As I said that the black color flowers, I am going to put the stamping at the center of it. So this is the floral center stamp which I have imported from one of the international brand, and now I am using a black acrylic color because acrylic colors are waterproof. So I would be using the acrylic color for the center. While choosing the stamp for the fabric center, you need to make sure that what size of flower you are using. If your flowers are a medium size, then go with the small center pieces. The stamping process is really amazing and you are going to see a huge difference when you do the stamping at the center of your flowers. If in case you do not have this stamp, then you can also go ahead and use a little darker tone at the center while doing the coloring of the flower petals. In this way as well, you are going to get a very good dimension to your flowers. Also, I would like to inform you that it is not necessary to always go with the black center color for the stamping. You can use any colors. For example, if your flower is pink, lighter shade of pink, then you can go with the darker tone of pink, and this way you are going to get very beautiful result from the entire process. And here, after the stamping, I am using a wet tissue to clean my stamp. I always follow this process because I want my stamp to be ready next time when I am using it. So to maintain it for a longer period of time, it is always preferable to clean it and then you store it properly. Alright, now comes my most favorite part, which is the shaping of the flower. So this is the millinery tool which I am using here. Many people also called it as fabric flower making tool. This tool I have imported from Japan. However, you can get it here in India as well. So if you wanted to start with your fabric flower making business, then this is going to be a very good investment for your small business. Now let's back to the point. Here I have chosen the nozzle which I am going to use to shape my flowers, and one by one I will start coloring the petals. Now just see how each petal is started taking its own beautiful curve. And don't worry, it need not to be perfect, because when we talk about the beauty in nature, then imperfection is always a beautiful and a perfect thing. While doing the shaping process, I usually keep two tools together. So I use the big tool size for the bigger flower petals and the smaller one for the smaller petals. Now that all my petals are ready, it is time to assemble the flower. This is my favorite part. Again, this is one of my favorite part because you start seeing everything come together. Now to start the assembling process, first of all I go and decide the pollens according to the color of my floral petals, and once I've decided with the pollens, I will assemble it. So I first collect 10 to 12 pollens and then I wrap it in a wire, a very thin wire, and then this wire would help me to insert this entire pollen bunch into the floral petal. In the assembling of the flowers, I usually either I go with the two same size petals, or if it is the more layering flower, then I start with the smaller petal and end with the bigger petal. I am customizing this flower for one of the project. So for this, according to the floral design of the pattern paper, I am making the flowers for this, in which I am using the two same size petals. So this is the medium size petal which I am using, and the number of pollens which I have used here is 10. And after assembling all my petals together, this is how a beautiful floral setup looks like. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and feel inspired to make your own fabric flowers. I would love to see what you create, and make sure to tag me on my social media. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give a thumbs up, comment below your questions or if you have any idea to share, and of course, subscribe for more beautiful and fun DIY projects like this. Till then, happy crafting. Bye.